Subscribe now by just clicking the above subscribe button.
Welcome to Video Again. In the last few sessions, we had covered modals. Today, we move on to another interesting chapter, that is active and passive voice. Now, in a layman's language, an active voice is something which is said directly, and passive voice a little indirectly. Let me explain. In a sentence which is made out in active voice, the subject plays the important role. When the subject is the doer of an action, then the sentence is said to be in the active voice. Let me give an example. Geeta cleans the house. Now, Geeta is the subject and Geeta does something, that is cleans. Now, this is said to be in the active voice. Take another example. The house is cleaned by Geeta. Now, here, the house is the subject. The house doesn't do anything, but then someone does something to the house. So, in a passive voice, the subject does not do anything, but then something is done to the subject. Such sentences are called passive voice, where something is done upon the subject. And in an active voice, the subject is the doer of an action. Now, when a direct method is available, why do we use an indirect method? There are certain reasons. Now, in a passive voice, the subject is not at all important. Now, for instance, I could as well say the house is cleaned. I don't have to say who cleaned the house. You can very well hide the subject. Therefore, it means when you do not know who is the subject, or when you do not want to highlight who has done the action, then you can very well put the sentence in passive voice. So, whenever the subject is not known, you use the passive voice. Or when you want to give importance to the object and not the subject, then again you use the passive voice. Sometimes, take another example. Smoking is prohibited. Here, the doer is not at all mentioned. You never know who smokes. So, a placard is always put in that fashion. Now, trespassers are prosecuted. Now, they never say who is prosecuted. The trespassers are prosecuted. You never know who trespasses. Therefore, the subject is hidden away from the sentence. It is unknown. Suppose you are traveling in a bus. Someone picks your packet. You say, my packet was stolen. Who did it? I don't know. Now, someone has broken a glass. We don't know who has broken it. Then we say, the glass is broken. Again, the subject is hidden. Sometimes we know the subject, but we do not wish to divulge it. Then again, we use the passive voice. Now, passive voice is sometimes used by poets and writers to get emphasis on the subject or the object, as the case may be. Now, let me take some more examples. For example, a sentence in continuous tense. David is writing the letter. Now, when you put it into passive voice, it becomes the letter is being written by David. Let me take another example in the past continuous tense. Usha was driving the car. This becomes the car was being driven by Usha. Let me give a few more examples. Many people have read this novel. This novel has been read by many people. Suresh had been dictating a letter. A letter has been being dictated by Suresh. And so on. Now, as you can see, in passive voice, the object occupies the importance and the subject can very well be omitted. I hope this is clear. Thank you.